and welcome back to Young and Wifed Up. This is Marcella.
And I'm Gabby.
And thanks for joining us this week for Season 3, our premiere episode.
Yeah, we're so excited to be here.
Whoa, my bangs are banging.
Bangalicious. So, if you are watching us, you might be like, what's going on? What's going on, you guys?
This is new.
This is new. And this is what we're trying to do.
We're a little nervous to see how it goes, but we'll live.
We're
and we'll
a little
learn.
uncomfortable in front of the camera.
You know, I was just thinking when I was walking up here, I was like, can you hear me swallowing also? Like, ew. I was like, when we were recording our past seasons, you know how we're like looking at our notes or whatever?
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm just like reading the notes while we're recording, and like we'll be laughing about something, but I'm like, ha. But nobody can see me, so I'm like not even smiling. Like, I can't fake it now because now you can see my face.
You have to be prepared now. We can't wing it like we used to.
I can't.
So if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Music or another podcasting platform, just know that you can also head to our YouTube, Young and Wifed Up, and watch this episode if you so choose to.
Yeah.
So a couple things, housekeeping, before we get into our episode today. If you haven't listened to our past episodes or you would like a refresher, head to youngandwifedup.com. You could also see our 2021 gift guide. Ooh, it was so cool. It was so much fun to put together. And if you haven't checked that out, you can still go on it. We're going to keep it up for the rest of 2022. And then the plan is to put a new one out every year. So when it comes to the holiday season again this year, then we'll put out another one. So that'll be really fun.
Or if you guys really like the gift guide, we can put several up.
Yeah, why
during
not?
the year.
Yeah.
Mother's Day gift guide.
Yeah, you tell us.
You know.
Also, if you're not already a part of our Facebook group, head on to Facebook.
You need to be.
Yeah. It's a community of women. We pray for each other every week. We do polls. We give the inside scoop for our upcoming episodes. We ask you guys for your recommendations and opinions on episodes that we can be doing in the future. So if you're not already a part of that Facebook group, then please join, and we'll have the link in the episode notes.
Definitely. Also, if you would like to support us, there are several ways you can do this. You can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. You can head to their website, head to our website, click the coffee cup, and you can send your support that way. You can also shop with our sponsors, which currently include Imperfect Foods and Earth Hero. And we will hopefully be adding more onto our list pretty soon. And obviously we'll keep you guys updated so that you can get all the discount codes and all the cool stuff.
Yeah. And if you have a small business and you're a listener of ours, please send us a DM, send us an email. We would love to work with you and talk about your product and your business on our podcast. And then we can work a little deal out together where we get a discount code for the listeners. So just don't be shy. If you have a small business, we love to hype our girls up. Mm-hmm. So if you get a hold of us and we can feature your business on a future episode.
You know, maybe we should think about that in the Facebook group also, because we have a
self-promotion.
We have a self-promotion thread, another reason to join. So if you have a small business, that's one way that you can kind of get us to notice your small business.
Yeah.
Maybe every once in a while we'll kind of shout out a small business, but that'll be in the works later on. Also, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast or Google Podcasts, and also share the episode with your family and friends.
Awesome. So, Marcella, it's been a while. We've been gone since August. Isn't that insane?
Oh, dang. Yeah.
That's gotta be.
Really? August?
Yeah. It's been a long time.
I thought we were done in September.
No, we premiered our last episode in August. The end of August.
Time flies.
What have you been up to?
Well, I had a baby.
Oh, that's right. That's why we've been gone for so long. It's your fault.
It's my fault. It's my son's fault. Yeah, I had my son Eli in the beginning of October. He was a prime week late.
All your babies are late, honey.
I don't know why those kids just don't want to come out.
They're just comfy.
I have a comfy womb, I guess. So yeah, I had my baby. He's doing great. He's growing like a weed. Oh my gosh, he just rolled over for the first time today. Did I tell you?
No.
Okay, so you had Seth earlier in the afternoon, right? If you're new, my older son, Seth, he's 2. Just had my son, Eli. He's 3 months old, like 3-ish. Like 3-ish months old, a little bit older than 3 months old. And I like walked out of the room for like a second to go to the bathroom. And then I come back and all I hear is like his face is like muffled. And sometimes he like sticks his hand in his mouth. So I'm like, whatever. I didn't go to the bathroom. I just like left for literally a minute. And then I heard something and I was like, maybe he's got his hands in his mouth. So I went back to the living room and he's like on his tummy, like,
no.
Like I was like, how did you get there?
No way, dude. He's growing so fast.
He's in like 6 to 9 month clothing right now.
He's a big boy.
Pray for our grocery bill in about 6 months. I'm
it's
scared.
Already crazy.
We're all scared. We're all scared. Anyway,
honestly, he's honestly the sweetest
he's so
boy.
Cute.
Just
he's the cutest
so
thing
smiley
ever.
and happy.
Yeah.
And he's just a blessing to all of us.
Yeah.
Everybody that meets him is like, oh, he's just so special. Like, he just gets you.
But you know, all parents say that about all their kids, right?
That's true,
like,
I guess. I don't know. Something's different about that kid.
Well, anyway, so that's the most eventful thing that has happened in my life.
Right.
That's about, I mean, that's a big thing. Like, that's the biggest thing that I can talk about.
Now you're out of the newborn stage with him.
Yes.
And you have a toddler, so there's adjusting.
Yes.
And you're going to talk about in a couple episodes how the potty training has been going.
Yeah, Seth is now potty trained, and that's also another big thing if you have kids. That's like a big milestone. So we've gotten past that. But we'll talk about that in another episode. So what's been going on with you?
So the biggest thing is where we currently are sitting is in my new apartment. So
it's so nice.
So we moved kind of mid-November. It was kind of random. If you've listened in past episodes, you knew that this was coming, but it was supposed to come in like May or June. And so what happened was in March, our current landlord let us know that there was going to be an opening for a 2-bedroom. So Ryan and I asked for that unit. And I guess with all of the COVID stuff, there was like a huge backlog of wood and lumber and a lot of things that you need for renovating an apartment, and ours needed to be renovated. So we knew that there was going to take a couple months. We didn't know it was going to take like 10 months. So I felt like I was kind of giving up near the end of the summer because I was like, okay, we were supposed to be getting our apartment in June, and I wanted to do a revamp of the apartment and start styling it differently, but I didn't want to do that if we were going to end up moving. But then I just started feeling really discouraged and that we weren't going to get the new space, and maybe it wasn't in God's plan for us. But my husband has been working from home since March of 2020, and it's been a huge blessing for us, but also we really needed extra space when that started happening. Yeah. And so it's been a long time coming, but finally in November, we got the call that our apartment was ready and we had to move in a couple days. So it was a little frantic. And it actually just so happened that really good friends of ours moved into the apartment next to us like a week before. So we were helping them move, and then we found out we had to move.
Yeah, simultaneously packing up your
stuff. It was just a nightmare, but thank the Lord, we are so happy here. Like, we have an extra bed, an extra bathroom. We have more space to host people. We've had more people over at our place than we've ever had before, and it's just so awesome. Like, this has been such a blessing, and we knew that it would be, but I think now that we're just kind of resting and we're kind of out of the frantic moving stage and we're just enjoying our new place, we've really been seeing the fruit of our labor and
of your patience
and the patience
waiting for this unit.
You know, I was a little bit like getting angry. But you know, it did end up helping me. I got rid of all my old decor and stuff and started collecting new pieces for when we did end up moving. So it was nice because I had so much stuff kind of ready to go when we moved in that I didn't have to go and buy a bunch of new things all at once.
Yeah.
It was kind of accumulative.
Yeah.
So it was a blessing, and it was the perfect time, and we were able to have the apartment ready for the holidays and hosting, and it's just been so nice. So that's been the biggest change that we've experienced over the past 6 months, and we're just enjoying the space now that we can use the office or the second bedroom for whatever we need. So right now we are sitting and recording in it, and it's such a blessing that we have our own place that we can kind of be creative and, do all the fun things that we've always wanted to do. Not just me, but like Ryan too. He has a lot of goals that he wants to achieve with creativity, and having his own space to do that is just made him more productive. So
yeah,
we're really thankful. So thank you for everybody that's been praying for us and that's been keeping up with us on social media and commenting and sending your sweet messages to Marcella and I during this time that we've been away. And we're excited to come back and to bring you guys new content. We have a really exciting season planned for you guys. We have a lot of guests that are going to be joining us that I'm super excited about. We're going to be talking about family planning. We're going to be talking about homeschooling and homemaking, and we just have so much stuff that we're excited to share with you guys. And today it's going to be a little low key. We're just going to talk about
we need a warm up episode.
We're going to warm up with some products and things that we've been enjoying and loving this winter.
Yeah.
So let's break for commercial and we'll come back with that.
I don't know about you, but I'm always on the hunt for a convenient shopping experience.
However, too much of the stuff we buy today is made without any thought of how it will affect our families and the world tomorrow.
What if there was an all-around better way to shop, with the convenience that we all want and the confidence that everything is made, packaged, and shipped sustainably?
Earth Hero is exactly that. Earth Hero is a one-stop shop for all your sustainable and eco-friendly products.
They have so many products ranging from beauty supplies, cleaning products, homeware, clothing, baby essentials, and so much more.
Join us today on our sustainable journey by using promo code YoungandWifedUp for 10% off your entire purchase.
Make sure to click the Earth Hero link on our website at YoungandWifedUp.com to start shopping today.
Okay, Marcella, we have 10 topics to cover today, things that we've been loving and enjoying this winter. So, why don't we start with, we just passed the holiday season, and I wanted to start us off with a gift that we received that we really enjoyed and that we'd like to share with our listeners. So can you go first?
Yes, okay. I had like a top 3 favorite gifts, but I kind of based my answer off of what I'm currently using like the most often.
Okay.
And this is something I'm using all day, every day at this point.
What is it?
It was from our grandma. She's hopefully listening. Grandma, I hope you're listening to our podcast. I'd be really sad if you didn't.
I would be sad too.
Really offended. She got me this faux fur blanket. First of all, like, it's gorgeous. It's like the style and design and everything. Like, she knows our aesthetics so well.
No, she studies us.
She is so good at giving gifts. Like, if anybody can take a note or tip from her, it's like how to give really good gifts.
Yeah.
But she got me this faux fur blanket, and I looked it up, and they actually have them on Amazon. She got it at Costco. Like, Costco always has like the really good deals and stuff, and she got it on sale at Costco. But they have it on Amazon, and it's from the brand called Life Comfort. Oh my gosh. I'm like taking that thing with me in every room that I go into in the house. It is probably the best blanket I've ever owned in my entire life. It is so nice. It's heavy, but it's not hot.
Right.
Like it provides the weight without you like sweating, and it is so soft. Like, I don't want to wash it because I'm scared it's gonna like
lose its fluff.
Yeah. Its furriness, its faux furriness. It is so nice. It's definitely the best blanket
that she gave me.
Is it the same brand? Do you know?
Yeah.
Is it the Life Comfort one? You guys,
it is so nice, dude.
I think I'm sold on this brand, honestly.
And it's huge.
Yeah, it's a good size too. Yeah.
She was like, it's perfect for cuddling and watching a movie. And I'm like, it's
That's
perfect
exactly.
I'm like, it's perfect for me to wrap myself up like a burrito. I want to be swaddled in this thing. So after this episode, I'm gonna lay on the ground and you're gonna swaddle me like you do Eli.
I'll roll you. I'll roll you into a burrito. Anyway, there were many gifts that I received that were just awesome, and I use those a lot too. But this is just the one thing that I'm like, I'm using this thing all day, every day.
Yeah, no,
and it's so good.
I had a hard time pinning down one that I wanted to talk about too, because I was really blessed this past year with really awesome gifts. Mm-hmm. But it's actually funny. I picked one that my grandma gave me also. It's just A+, okay? Like, I was like racking my brain, like choosing between like a few different things. And I was like, we got to give grandma a shout out. She really did it really good. And it's the simple things. Like, It's not like the extravagant, like most expensive. It's like something that she knew you would really appreciate.
The practical, yeah.
So anyway, if you know me, I'm notorious for my big hoop earrings. And some of my friends that listen, they make fun of me for it because they're like, girl, like 10 years ago, like, let's move on. And I'm like,
chill out earrings.
I'm like, you know what? It's not even 10 years ago. It's like the 90s. Okay. I just need to emulate the J-Lo hoops. Okay. This is just who I am, and I'm never going to change. So I'm sorry. So anyway, that being said, I was looking for some smaller hoops that I can put on that were kind of more dainty and chunky. And that's kind of a oxymoron, but like a chunky,
just a smaller hoop, but a chunky, yeah.
And because I still liked like the statement piece earrings, so my grandma had asked us for some, like, a list of things that we'd really appreciate that we'd get, and so I'd put these gold earrings on that list, and she did buy them for me, and I was it was one of those things that I like put on there and I was like, oh, that would be nice. It's super cute, and I've been wanting earrings like this, but it's not a big deal if I don't get it, And so when I saw that she had bought them for me, I was so happy because I was like, oh, like, this is going to be so nice just to have a new, like, piece of jewelry that I can count on, and like it goes with a lot of different things. So I'm going to link them, and obviously everything will be linked in our show notes. But these earrings are so cute, and they just go with everything, and they're a really nice, like, modern take on the hoop, and everybody can stop making fun of me. But listen, if you see me wearing my hoops, just know that I'm not going to change, okay? Just accept me, and we all have our things. Like, some people will not do a middle part, and I'm like, honey, do the middle part. You really should try a middle part.
Yeah.
If you haven't tried a middle part, your whole face changes.
You got to give yourself like a month.
Yeah.
Don't do it for a day because you won't be used to it. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is awful. I'm never doing this again. Like, you have to give it time for your eyes to like get used to seeing you with the middle part. Yeah. Just trust.
That's how I feel about my hoop earrings. Like, I'm gonna wear these. I'm wearing them right now, and I'm gonna wear these for a while, and I might transition out of my big, huge ones, but I don't know. I might not. Who cares?
I was a little salty because
why?
I was gonna buy you those hoop earrings. I
had no idea.
Well, yeah, because
was there like a separate group text?
Yes. Okay. So this is gonna be way too long for a winter favorites episode, but here we go. So we were sending Amazon wish lists. Just stop guessing and trying to read people's minds. We've talked about this on previous episodes in season 2. Just like tell people what you want, or ask people like, tell me specifically what you. Don't be like, I don't want anything. No, like, give specific items. Just tell them. Like, it's not a big deal. So we were sending Amazon wish lists, and between all members of the family, there's probably like 20 group texts going on. Hey,
excluding one person.
Excluding that one person. Hey, what are you getting Gabby for Christmas? Hey, what are you getting Jed for Christmas? Okay, I just gotta make sure I'm not getting in the same thing. So we were in our group text about what everybody was getting you. Of course, I was literally typing, I'm going to buy the hoop earrings, and then Grandma's texts pops up, and she's like, I'm gonna buy the hoop earrings, and I'm like, I gotta pick something else now, and they're so cute, and I'm like, that's like on brand for me too. Like,
I know, you're like, Gabby, I'm so proud of you. You want those earrings? Because you're one of the haters.
Kind of, yeah. I've got my chunky hoop earrings on too.
I'm really trying my hardest, Marcella.
They're nice. And they also just don't really get in the way, you know?
Yeah, well, another thing is they're not really practical if you're around small children.
No, not at all.
Thankfully, all my big hoops that I have, like, they are easily, like, I can take them off easily. So if somebody pulls them off my ear, it's not going to, like, rip my ear. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But anyway, we need to move on.
We really need to move on. Okay.
A gift we gave.
So this was a gift that I gave to my mother-in-law, and it's called a reverse coloring book. She's really big about, like, doodling and, like, artwork and, like, writing and stuff like that. She's, like, very creative in that way. And she was like, I don't know, I kind of just want, like, you know, maybe sketch pads or something for, like, doodling or coloring books. And I was like, oh my gosh, this would be perfect. So if you've never heard of a reverse coloring book, essentially what it is at least the version that I got her, it's just a book full of pages that are, like, a lot of mostly watercolors, but some of it's like abstract coloring. Mm-hmm. And what you do is you just get your own pen or marker or whatever, and you create your own design around the colors that are there. So instead of
that's cool,
like, coloring inside the lines, you're making the lines yourself. It's really cool. And I think I saw it on TikTok the first time I heard about it, and I was like, whoa, yeah, that's kind of genius. Yeah. So anyway, I got that for her, and I just thought it was really different and interesting.
That is really different.
Yeah. Anyway, what did you give that you really liked?
Okay, so this is a gift that I gave. I gave one to my parents and one to my grandparents, and it is a digital picture frame. So essentially what it is it's a picture frame that you have that you plug into the wall, and essentially what you can do is everybody has this app that's connected to these frames, and you could send pictures to the frames. And it is so cool. Like, it's my favorite thing to look at now at Mom's house when we go over, because there's, like, this ongoing just, like, stream of a gallery of the kids and like trips we've all been on, and it's just really nice to have in the living room or in the kitchen where everybody can see. It's kind of a minimal way to display family photos if you don't want to have, like, a whole gallery wall of them. And also it was really fun because when Ryan and I went to Vegas over Christmas time, we sent some pictures while we were away, and we sent it to my parents' digital frame, and they got the notification, and we were able to say, like, we miss you guys, we love you guys, and this is what we're doing right now. And it was just really cool. It just feels a little bit more personal than sending, like, a text of it. I don't know, because then, like, it's just a part of now the feed.
And plus you're, like, seeing it every day, and, like, sometimes it's, like, good conversation starters too, like, oh, remember when we did this, and, like, looking back on that photo or whatever. It is really cool.
No, I think I definitely want to invest in one for our apartment, because I just think it's so nice to have and people like looking at it. And so I think I got it on an Amazon Black Friday deal, and it was really affordable for what it was. I think it was like $100. I ended up being $100 each, and it was a good family gift because I had a budget for everybody for gifts this past year, and that was like a good one that I could give to mom and dad, and then one to grandma and poppy. So it was really awesome. And I really also think it's a good gift, especially for people that are grandparents, because if you have children and grandchildren that are like spread around that you don't get to see very often, it's like a nice thing that you can be sending your pictures to them.
Yeah. And you're not having to like scroll on your phone or like, okay, I have to go to this application or whatever to like get to my pictures. It's all just like right in front of you.
Yeah. And it's especially good if like there are people that are more technology challenged, you know, like you can set up their thing and get it ready for them. And then all they need to do is receive them. It just pops up on their screen, and they don't have to figure out how to download it or print it or put it on a frame. It's right there for them. So anyway, that was a really fun gift. And I think I'm going to get one for us because it was really cool.
Nice. All right, moving on to something that we watched that's been a winter favorite. So this is kind of like a really recent watch favorite.
I'm like, who is this?
I know. I had no idea who this was either.
Okay.
So this is kind of like out of pocket for what I usually talk about. You all know I'm all about my Korean cooking YouTube channels.
Yeah.
If you've been an OG, you know that's like all I watch on YouTube for some weird reason. I don't know why. But I found this girl. Her name's Jade Beeson. I think that's how you say her last name. But she... her whole channel is dedicated to social media marketing.
Ooh.
So if you are trying to get into learning like Instagram analytics, how to grow your Instagram, if you want to start a YouTube channel, and this is really good for people who have a small business and want to start an Instagram business page, but they don't know how to like get their stuff out there properly. She is so detailed, and it's like she does all the work for you, and all you have to do is like watch and take notes. She's super down to earth. She's really easy to watch. It's not the information is like boring, but she's not boring.
Right.
Like she's very engaging. Yeah, when she's talking about these topics and everything. So because I took a really long break, obviously, from having Eli, from content creating, I was like, okay, I don't want to just jump back into this and just be like, whatever, I'm just going to do whatever I want. Like, I want there to be purpose to things that I'm doing on social media.
Right.
So I decided to look into it, and I came across her channel, and I literally binged like all of her videos. They're so good. Like, I highly recommend anybody watch them. She's kind of getting into TikTok now because she was like avoiding it for a long time. Yeah. It's like really overwhelming.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see like what she'll have to say about TikTok and like how to grow your TikTok, because that's like another huge like social media platform that's blowing up now. So yeah, that's what I've been watching like the past few weeks. I've just been like, that's all I've been watching is all of her stuff. So if you're interested in like doing stuff like that, or even if like you're not trying to make money off of your social media, but you're just trying to drive traffic towards your small business or your website or whatever, she like covers everything like that. It's really, really good.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to look into that. Okay, so the thing that I've been watching more than anything, it's kind of funny. Yeah. So, I've been kind of looking for some Christian content for children.
It's hard.
There's so many bad things. Like, specifically in the Christian entertainment business for children, it's either like really cheesy and dumbed down, or it's like kind of irreverent or straight up irreverent. So anyway, I had come across, I can't even remember how I found them. I found them like maybe a year ago, but recently I've been watching it a lot, is allegories, like an owl, allegories. It's like a word play on allegories. Anyway, so it's a show about these owls, and they go to this school to learn about God's creation. And each episode, they learn about a different attribute of God, or something that is characterized. A character of, oh my goodness, why can't I talk today? It's okay. First day back, guys. First day back. It's one of God's characters or attributes, and they go on a field trip, or they go discover something new, and then they learn about something about God. And I really, really like it because it has good theology. It's something that I can trust. And the makers behind them, Matt Chandler is behind it, if you're familiar with Matt Chandler. And a lot of the people that he has on are people that that he trusts and that are actually like doctrinally sound. And so I really like watching that show. It's really entertaining and funny. It's not cheesy.
It's well produced.
It's very well produced. Yeah. The animation is really good. There's no images of Jesus. There's no irreverent things. It's just a good kids show. So anyway, if you're looking for something to watch on Sundays with your kids, or if you just want something on that you can feel good about them watching, Allegories, the first season is free on Amazon Prime. And I also believe there's a few episodes that are free on YouTube, but you can also purchase like all their seasons through a few different streaming sites. But anyway, I really enjoy watching it with the kids whenever we have kids over, and it's just something that we feel comfortable with them watching.
Yeah.
And I actually have enjoyed watching it myself. So if you haven't already, I would check out Allegories.
Yeah. And I think it's really important, like you were saying, you can trust.
I can walk away from the room.
Exactly. Yeah.
Without having to filter things.
It's so hard because whenever I put on something new for Seth or whatever, I don't let him watch TV very often, but when he does, I feel like I have to be like
glued to
just
the TV.
like alert like crazy.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll be like
what's that?
Nope,
what was that?
Next. We're changing it.
Fast forward. This is not working.
Yeah, so it's really nice because you're like, okay, you can give them some of the screen time. You can have a little break yourself from, the craziness, but you're not having to worry about like being like hawk eyes and like hawk ears on them like on the show the whole time. Yeah, it is really good. I like that show as well.
Something we heard.
Okay. I haven't been listening to music. I haven't even really been listening to podcasts a whole lot. Just because.
Do you just like, you're just like sitting around with no noise? Like no like.
My children are the noise.
I understand that, but I'm saying like
I can't.
Really?
It's too much because there's Seth screaming and Eli screaming. How?
Headphones?
How?
I feel like I'm the opposite. I feel like wearing headphones or listening to something helps me like center on that one thing.
No, you're right. Like I could wear headphones, but then I'm always worried that I won't be able to hear one of the kids.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like this fight within myself. Like, I really wish like I could. I don't know, guys. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do.
Well, whatever you've listened to, what was it?
Okay, so there's this podcast called As For Me and My House, and it's this young couple, and it's this girl. Her name's Milena Ciciotti, I think. I think that's their last name. I don't know. It's spelled kind of weird. Anyway, they're believers. I don't agree with like everything that they say, but it's like it's nice because I haven't really come across a lot of like young couple believers that have their own podcasts. There are like couples that have their podcasts, but they're like well into their 30s and things like that, but they're like in their old.
I'm knocking on 30's door soon, so
your husband's knocking on 30's door. Really? He has one foot in at this point. Anyway,
I'm not ready.
Anyway, it's just like it's nice to hear like a perspective, like a peer's perspective,
right?
About biblical things, and for the most part, like I do agree with a lot of stuff that they talk about, and then other things I'm like, but it's like silly things. It's like stuff that doesn't really like matter, you know.
Things that don't matter.
That don't really matter.
Well, so what you're saying is like you'll listen to it, but you wouldn't like listen to it for like a counseling situation.
Probably not.
It's casual.
It's
listening,
more like you're listening to a friend, and like it's low key.
Like
it's
us.
very chill. Essentially, like don't listen to us for counseling. That's a bad idea.
Please go to your elder's wife or your elder directly. We cannot help you.
Yeah. Anyway, so like she has 2 kids. I think they're like a little bit older than my boys are. So then she also talks about a lot of like parenting stuff and like her take on things like that. So it's cool. It's a good podcast.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah.
How did you find it? Just randomly?
Well, I started following her on Instagram a little while ago, and then she talks about it on her Instagram, so I just came across it that way.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So mine is music this time, which I don't think I've recommended music literally ever.
Really?
Maybe once. Literally probably the first season. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
I go through waves where I want to listen to audiobooks because then I feel the guilt that I haven't read a book in a while. Or I really want to listen to podcasts, or I'm like I'm listening to exclusively things about women's health, or exclusively about things about theology or whatever. I kind of go through waves. And during those waves, there will be a very short period where I want to listen to new music because I don't know, it's just so much work now to find new music that you enjoy.
So much. Mm-hmm.
It's a little overwhelming. I feel like back in the day, people were just showing me new things all the time. Like when we were teenagers, we had friends that were older than us that were just like opening our eyes to all this amazing music and bands and stuff. And that's where my music taste kind of formed, is through other people introducing music to me.
Yeah.
So nobody really around me is recommending music. That's not true though. There's an elder at my church that is really into hip hop, and he always is like, "Hey Gabby, I listened to this new guy. I gotta go," and I'm like, "Okay," and then it's always fire.
That's funny.
I'm sorry. I need to correct myself. He does help me out. But anyway, speaking of hip hop, one of my really good friends, she's in Maryland. Her and her husband are members at a church that's similar to ours, and we've connected over the internet for a while. And her husband is actually a hip hop artist, a producer. He makes beats, and he also raps and produces. And anyway, he's a really talented artist. I haven't really gotten into his stuff in the past. Like, I've enjoyed it and, support the homies, But this album that he dropped, I think it was in the fall. I don't know. I'm not even going to try to say when it dropped, but it's recent. It is so good. It is so fire. Like, the content is so good. The beats are like really laid back, chill, kind of like East Coast 90s vibes. And it's just such a good album. Like, I listened to it top to bottom, and it's really cute because one of the last song, well, I think it is the last song on his album, he dedicated to his wife, and it's like,
that's the one that you showed me.
And it's so
It's really
beautiful
good.
and sweet, and just like, man, if my husband wrote a song for me, and it's not like cheesy, it's like, it was so good. So anyway, this is what it's called. It's called The Killing Times, and it's by Doctrinal, and obviously I'll link the Spotify for you guys, but it is so dope. The whole premise is for the album is basically going through this different period in church history where there was persecution, and it is so good. And it really gets you like fired up and thinking about things. And I don't know, I really enjoyed this album, and I listened to it like over and over again, and I really enjoy it. So support the homies and listen to The Killing Times by Doctrinal.
Nice. Yeah, and I listened to it too, and it's really good.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's a bop. Something you read. I literally...
Did you see mine?
You know what? It's good that you read that, because, I honestly should be reading it more.
Okay. So, along with not being able to, like, have the time to just, like, leisurely listen to music on a daily basis, reading also falls into that category of not being able to do that leisurely. So I put the Heidelberg Catechism.
The reason it's funny is because it's not like a book that you read cover to cover.
But you can still read it. It's technically part...
It is a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not... Yeah, I get it.
So it's in question and answer form. And if you guys don't know what catechism means, a catechism essentially is teaching tool. It's teaching. It's question and answer form. And so it's a... Why am I struggling? It is a church document, like an article.
It's like a confessional document.
A confession that essentially lays out the essential doctrines that we believe in. Mm-hmm. So you read it.
Yeah, well, I read it every day. Like, I read one every day.
You read a question every day?
I read one question. So it's...
Or do you read the Lord's Days?
I read...
Because it's broken up into 52 weeks.
I do the Lord's Days.
Okay.
I do one,
because the reason that it's broken up into Lord's Days is because when they wrote the document, they intended for churches to read it on the Lord's Day, and then they would read like X amount of questions. But
you can read however much you want, though.
Well, also,
like,
I just kind of use it as like a reference book also, because it's so good, because you can go like find a question about basically anything regarding
it's kind of like broken up into 3 different parts. Like, the first part is like, I think it's called The Misery of Man. Mm-hmm. And then the second part is
how we're redeemed by that misery.
Yeah, like the deliverance of man. And then the third part is how do we respond to
gratitude,
that deliverance with gratitude. And then all the questions kind of fit into those formats in each section. So that's just part of my daily,
that's awesome,
like, it's quiet time, I guess.
And it's cool because under each question and answer, there's like a whole slew of scripture references to go and kind of look at what is proving this. Like, where are we getting this answer from? And they like have like, here's the 30 verses or whatever, you know? Well, I'm glad. It's an encouragement to me. I think I've read the first question and answer here on the podcast before, because it's just so good. And I honestly need to read it more because it's just so comforting. So you could read the Heidelberg Catechism like online for free.
Yeah, you can. In fact, there's an app that's called
Reformed Confessions and Creeds, or what is it?
Catechisms and Creeds, I think. Confessions, Creeds, and Confession. I don't know, something like that.
It's the blue one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I have that on my phone, and it has like a bunch of different ones, and then a Heidelberg Catechism is in there. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so in the same light, I read. I'm doing a reading challenge right now with a few of the homies, and my goal this year is to read 20 books. Now, I read one in a couple days. So I was able to check off that first.
And now where are you at?
And now I'm struggling through a really, really long novel. Well, it's not a struggle because I'm really enjoying the novel, but it's just long. It's like 500 something pages. So,
oh my gosh.
When I say I'm struggling through it, I mean, like, I wish I could read it all faster, but I can really only read about a chapter or two a day. And I'm really enjoying it. And I'm trying to rediscover my love for reading, like, leisurely, because when I read, I usually end up opting for reading theology books because I am, like, confronted with an issue and I really want to know where I stand on it. And then I'm like, let me read these books about it. But I haven't read, like, just like a nice fiction novel. You know what I mean?
What is it about?
Well, okay, that's not even what I'm supposed to talk about this time. But anyway, but the novel I'm reading right now that has nothing to do with my favorite book of the winter time is called Nightingale by Hannah Kristen.
Oh.
And I'm reading that right now.
Wait, okay, so then what's your favorite one?
Okay, so the one that I've already read, that I can check off the list, that I read, my first book that I read in 2022, it's called A Cluster of Campfire by Susanna Spurgeon, and that is Charles Spurgeon's wife. And she wrote a few different devotional books while she was alive, and this one wrecked me. So I've had it for a while, and I've kind of read like one or two of the devotionals, like whenever I was struggling. Marissa Mace, who we've had on the podcast before, her episode is called The Encouraged Crumb, if you want to go back and listen to that. She is a suffering saint that encourages me in the Lord all the time, and she recommended and talks about this devotional all the time. And so last summer, when I was really struggling with depression, I bought it, and I read most of it when I was in that season. But I didn't really get to like enjoy it because I was kind of reading out of desperation, needing some comfort from like a spiritual mother, essentially.
Yeah.
And then I decided that I wanted to like actually just read it again for my first book of the year. And so I read it all the way through this time, and you guys, it just wrecks you. It is so beautiful. It is full of truths of scripture. Essentially, each one talks about different areas of suffering. It's her thoughts about it. It's encouragement from scripture. And it honestly feels like a spiritual mother is like lifting you up and turning your eyes to Jesus. And that has been like such a beautiful book to help me through a really hard season. And it's so insane, like how poetic and how she was so gifted with being able to relay spiritual truths that might be dry for some people, but just making it seem so beautiful and rich and tangible, especially for somebody that's suffering. A lot of like, I don't know, when you're suffering, which I mean, I might be the only person that experiences this. When people give me like false positivity, it kind of makes things worse. And sometimes people don't realize the effect that their words can have. Like, oh, you know, you'll get through this. Just trust in Jesus, or, you know, just like, which those things are true and good.
Yeah, but it's like cookie cutter Christian
things that like
advice.
I'm just kind of like sick of
Yeah,
hearing.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Like, I am trusting in Jesus.
Yeah, instead of just somebody telling you like, you're right,
This
like
sucks.
this is really hard.
Yeah. And so Susanna kind of does that. She does it. She does it in a way that's so beautiful and reverent and just good. Like, I don't even know what else to say, guys. Just read it. It's
I need to
short,
put that on my list.
It's a short read. It was like 90 pages.
Okay.
And the devotionals are really short, like 1 to 3 pages each. And I just write it on my phone because, I don't know, I'm like laying in bed wanting to read it. And I was reading it before I went to bed to help my anxiety, because sometimes I could find myself scrolling for a long, long time and it's not really edifying me. It's just kind of making things worse.
Yeah.
So I opted to read that in bed, and yeah, it was just so beautiful. So I will link it, A Cluster of Campfire by Susanna Spurgeon.
Nice. I need to put that on my reading list.
Yes. Something you ate.
Something I ate. Okay. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been posting a lot about my sweet, crispy tofu salads. They're so good.
Wow.
They're so good. So, it's just a sweet, crispy tofu salad.
Straight to the point.
So, I use like extra firm tofu. I was trying to look for something that I could like have as a protein that was really quick to cook, and I wouldn't, because you can technically like eat tofu raw.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm having to bake a chicken or something. I know people are like, well, just meal prep it. And it's like, you know what? I do meal prep like 3 pounds of chicken like every week. And sometimes you just need something different. And beef is really expensive.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to try tofu. I've never really been a big tofu person, but I'm sold now. I always get organic, and I essentially crumble it up into like a preheated pan over the stove, and I just let it sit in a nice layer for a good like 10 to 15 minutes, and it gets nice and crispy. And then I put some like soy sauce. You can use coconut aminos if you're sensitive to soy, and maple syrup, and then I kind of stir it around, and then I let it sit for another 5 minutes and get another like crispy layer going. And then I just like pile that on top of like a big plate of greens and lots of veggies, and I put strawberries and like avocado, and like it's just a massive salad. Like every single time I make it, somebody's walking by in the kitchen and they're like, you're gonna eat all of that? And I'm like, I do every time. Like I eat the whole thing, because it just provides like the perfect amount of nourishment that I need for my lunch. It is so good. It's just so good. Anyway, that's what I've been like. It is so good. That's what I've been making a lot and eating a lot and just obsessed with. Anyway, what about you?
So this is one thing that I made for New Year's Eve.
Just recently, yeah.
We did sheet pan nachos at my parents' house, and because I am dairy-free, I'm a dairy-free individual. It's one of my personality traits. Sometimes I feel like that, like, oh, that's Gabby. She can't have cheese.
Dairy. It's the dairy for her.
Yeah. So because of that, I really wanted some nacho cheese, right? For the nachos. But then I remembered that a homegirl, like 2 years ago, sent me this YouTube video called Game Changer Cheese Sauce. And
that's random.
Yeah. So I decided to hunt for it, and I found it. And I've always wanted to try it, but I was a little bit intimidated by it because, I don't know, like making cheese from things that aren't milk, it's really intimidating, especially when you are feeding people that love cheese and can tell the difference, which I can tell the difference, but my standards are really low.
They kind of have to be.
Yeah, so somebody that's not like dairy free, they'll know immediately. So essentially the base is oats. So even if you can't have cashews or nuts, if you have an allergy, so there's no nuts involved. Oats, liquid smoke, roasted red peppers, There's a bunch of seasonings, nutritional yeast. You blend it all up. The consistency is the same.
It is.
The color is the same. And so we deceived the males in our family.
And my poor husband, we tricked him into saying, because he's the biggest skeptic when it comes to that sort of thing.
He'll write it off immediately. Like, no, I'm not going to eat that.
So we never tell them, like, if there's something that's like gluten-free or dairy or like an alternative food or something like that.
We just tell them after.
Yeah. So we wait for them to say, wow, this is really good. And they were like.
And that's what happened. So I made it and I put it on all the nachos. And everybody was enjoying it. And Marcella asked her husband what he thought. And he said, it's good. And she's like, you really like it? And he's like, yeah, I really like it. And she's like, okay, good. And that's when we revealed the big reveal. He's like, why are you asking me so much?
And then he started looking at Gabby because he knew, like, this was you, wasn't it?
I'm always involved.
You did something to this. What is this? He's like, and he started asking, like, what is this? It's cheese. What is this though?
He's like, no, but really.
No, but what actually is this? And then
it is so good, you guys.
It was really good, yeah.
It's a really good, like, queso, like, alternative. So it's just like a nice nacho sauce. And I'll put the video. I literally watched the video a million times to get the recipe right. It took me about 5 minutes. It was a little hard to find liquid smoke. I had to go to a few different places to find it.
Oh, weird.
But I eventually found it at Safeway Vaughn's. And yeah, so it was really good. Everybody loved it in the family, and I'll definitely make it again when we have nachos.
Cool, man. Okay. Moving on to something we drank. So, back to my husband. He was so sweet and got me this like boba tea brown sugar syrup kit for Christmas because I really love boba. Except for he kind of forgot the boba part in the kit that he bought. I don't know how that happened.
No.
But it was supposed to be like a brown sugar syrup. Mm-hmm. And then you just add whatever milk you want, and then you just make the boba that comes with it. But I guess the kit that he got, it was the one that didn't come with the boba. It was just the brown sugar syrup. Anyway, besides the point, he's been making like homemade boba for us.
So bomb.
It's so good, and it's so much cheaper than buying it. And like obviously you don't have all the like you don't have a million fancy syrups things, like they do and whatever. But if you stick to like what you usually get, you just get those things and just make it yourself at home. And like making the boba is really easy too. You can like get the boba pearls on Amazon, and
it was really good.
It's really good, and it
does take a while to make though, so you have to be
patient. Boil the boba and cook it essentially. Yeah, that's what I've been really liking.
Yeah, it's a win
lately. Anyway,
I've been making Moscow Mules. And
which I've had, and they're really good.
I'm obsessed. Mm-hmm. They're so easy. It's like the easiest cocktail to make, and things that I can just have in my fridge, I can make it with. So you can make any kind of mule. I've been making a pomegranate mule, so I do a shot or two, depends if you're feeling fun or not, of vodka. And I don't know, I just use whatever vodka I have. I don't know. I'm not picky. Like, it's funny when people are like, oh, like, what's your favorite? I'm like, just any.
Just vodka.
Just give me any. When I go to a bar or a restaurant, I'm ordering, they're like, oh, do you want top shelf? I'm like, no, just whatever you have. The cheapest.
That's okay.
It doesn't matter.
I'm good.
It tastes the same to me. I don't know. Tequila, I am a little bit picky, but vodka, not that
you're
picky.
Also not just like taking straight shots of it. Like when it's mixed into stuff,
I
feel
never
like
take a shot
it
of vodka.
Masks.
That sounds like a nightmare. I'd rather drink nail polish. It's the same thing.
You mean nail polish remover?
Nail polish remover. Don't drink. This is not an encouragement to drink nail polish remover. Yeah, no. Either way, okay, so a shot or two of vodka, ice, ginger beer, which we get ours from Imperfect Foods. So good. And pomegranate juice. I just use the POM, P-O-M.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there aren't really any other brands out there. That is the only one I ever see is POM.
And I got that from Imperfect Foods too. So my drink was
sponsored
brought to you by Imperfect Foods. Anyway, I've been making that one a lot, and it's so good.
It is really good.
But I've also made like a traditional Moscow Mule with like the lime and and then I've also made a holiday spritzer mule that was really good too. But if you have ginger beer and you have vodka and just any kind of fruity whatever, you can make a meal.
Or just put lime in it.
Yeah.
Like,
I just love ginger.
Done.
You guys, I'm a ginger person.
same.
There's
Yeah.
ginger people and there's
Not
I hate
ginger.
ginger people. There's no in
I
between.
love ginger and I
you either
hate
really
ginger.
love it or you really hate it.
Yeah.
And we love it.
We love it. We love it around here. Okay. Moving on to something we played. So, our older brother, surprise, surprise, we have a brother. I don't know how often we've talked about
Literally
him.
never. Never.
Really?
We've never said anything
Well, by the
about
way,
him. We have a brother.
We have a brother.
Everybody's like, where is he?
He's ancient compared to me. I think he's like 10 years older than I am.
Yes.
Anyway, he's cool. He got us, like, as a family gift to, like, all of us.
Yeah.
He got us several things. One thing included was an Oculus, which, if you don't know what that is, it's essentially like a VR, like,
Headset.
gaming, headset and everything. It's super fun. It's really cool. It's really trippy. If you've never done VR before, it's like, how is this
Possible?
Like, it's almost like I never thought I would see something like this in my lifetime, sort of a thing. It's just super fun. Anyway, we bought this game called Beat Sabers, and it's essentially like Guitar Hero, but you're like using lightsabers.
Lightsabers, yeah.
It's so much fun. It is
really
so
fun.
much fun.
It's
like,
addicting.
That's the only thing that all of us play, essentially, like,
Yeah.
probably 90% of the time when one of us is using
We
the
need to buy
Oculus.
more music packs, though.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's super fun. That's the best way I can explain it, is like, it is like Guitar Hero on steroids.
And it's fun because when you like hit the blocks, it vibrates in your hand, so it feels like you're truly like
like
the
using a
game.
lightsaber. Yeah. It's super cool, and that's what we've been playing a lot lately. So
yeah, that's super fun. A board game that we bought recently called Code Names, and I've known about Code Names for a while. It's not a new game. It's been around for quite a few years.
Yeah.
But recently Ryan and I got it, so we've been bringing it to any family or friend gathering. And guys, it is so fun. If you have not played Code Names before, it is so fun. And I like it because you could have a big group or just 4 people, and the game is still just as fun. And so essentially what it is you're playing these secret agents, and there's this key code, this secret key code, and it's a word game, and you have to guess words, and it is a really fun party game, and we really enjoyed it. We brought it to my family's house, and usually, like, all the old people are like, we don't want to play a new game. It's overwhelming.
But they played and they enjoyed it.
They
and
loved
did
it.
great.
We also take it to Ryan's family, and they loved it. His mom was like, when can you come over so we can play Code Names again? Like, she's
so
obsessed.
cute.
So anyway, that's a really, really fun game if you haven't looked into it before. And it would be a really fun game to do with kids because it's like a word game, vocabulary.
It's like easy enough for a child to grasp, but it's hard enough so it's not boring for an adult.
Right. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, Code Names.
Okay. We're on our last 2. So, our favorite beauty product. So, I have gotten really into like liquid cream beauty products recently, which is crazy because I am very oily. I'm a very oily person. Everywhere, like oil slick, just it's bad. So, but for some reason, like, I just like how cream liquid products like sit on my skin. I just feel like they look more natural, and also they just kind of like blend in. It almost just like looks like kind of melts into your skin. It's like really nice. So I've been using this liquid blush from Rare Beauty. It is super pigmented. I probably won't need to get another blush for like a year.
Ooh.
It is so pigmented. You do not need a lot. I'm wearing it right now. I don't know if you can.
I can see it. Very
I don't know if you guys can see it on camera though. It's okay if you can't. It's pretty pigmented though.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's really pretty.
yeah. So there's like a ton of different shades that can obviously like suit any skin tone. Yeah, it's a really good product. It's a little bit on the pricey side, but again, it's gonna last you so
Lots of
long. Like,
product.
I'm willing to like pay the price for it. So
That's awesome. Where
Yeah.
did you get it?
you can get it at like Sephora or
Okay.
maybe Ulta. I don't know exactly where they're sold besides Sephora, but it's Selena Gomez's
That's
makeup
right.
brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. This is kind of random because it's not necessarily like a beauty product, but this is just kind of something I use on my face and body and hands. Just everything. So anyway, if you have been on our Facebook group, you have seen this girl talking about her soaps.
Her goat soap.
Once. And I knew about her, you know, and I was like, okay, that's good. I got a goat soap lady. Like,
yeah,
I'm
you're
solid.
pretty loyal to
I'm really
your
loyal.
farmer's market goat soap lady.
Very loyal to her.
Yeah.
I buy like 30 soaps at a time.
She's not kidding. Like, actually 30.
Well, because I have to stock up because I need one in every bathroom, like, and we use it for like washing dishes
and
for everything, my face, everything. Anyway, so for some reason I couldn't get a hold of my lady recently. And so I was like,
desperate.
Becky. So Becky from Dixie Soaps, I bought from her after seeing her go on our self-promotion every other week, and she faithfully did it, and it was worth it, Becky, because I spent so much money on your soaps.
I think Mom got some soaps too.
It is so good. Huge blocks, like the biggest blocks.
Saw them.
They smell so good. They're natural. They're goat soap, and I'm very happy with it. Very happy and very affordable. So I think I'm switching. I don't know. I don't want to speak too soon. I'm just saying, like, she was able to ship to me from, I think she's in Tennessee. And I'm like, okay, if you can ship, we're going to hype you up because we have listeners everywhere in the States. So Becky from Dixie Soaps, I'm going to link her website. And she also has lip balms and lotions.
Oh, yeah. Mom got some lip balms, too.
Yeah, and she also got some lotions from her.
Yeah.
And they have unscented soap. She has other soaps. It is so good. Just good natural products that you can count on. And from somebody that is a local business, and it's a small business and a wife. So let's support her.
Cool. Go Becky.
Go Becky.
All right. Our last one. It's a random category, and this is very random. It's the Sandra Boynton, I think that's how you say her last name, Sandra Boynton, her children's books. So she's she's a children's book author, and she writes all the, like, the Snoozers book, the Barnyard Dance one, Moo, Ba la la la.
Yeah.
We grew up with those books, and now, like, reading those books to my sons is really weird because
it's surreal.
And it's also really weird watching my mom read those books to my sons because she reads it the exact same way that she used to read it to us. Ago. And like literally 20 years ago. But they're so good. They're very good for, like, vocabulary building and for getting them to, like, mimic and repeat sounds. And they're very interactive. And they're just funny books. Yeah. Like, and they're fun to read. Yeah. And Seth loves them. Loves those books. So we like those ones. We also like the Eric Carle ones are, like, classics as well. I know a lot of you guys probably know those ones too, but yeah, the Sandra Boynton ones, if you haven't gotten them, like, just get a few. I'm pretty sure they're, like, sold on Amazon, but they're great little children's books.
I really like the illustrations in them too.
Yeah, they're like kind of goofy and like silly.
Like the animals have like bug eyes.
yeah, the artwork is really good. Yeah.
Okay, so my random one is a gift that I got from my mom, and it was also one of the things on my wish list. You guys, make a wish list. Come on. Like, I don't know how many times we have to tell you guys.
We'll continue, though.
Yeah, we'll just keep
until everybody gets on the wish list bandwagon. Yeah.
You know, one thing that people always say is, like, they're like, well, I want somebody to surprise me. And I'm like, well, you don't have to tell them when to give it to you. So you'll be surprised when you get it.
And we've talked about this before. Just have, like, a long running list.
Yes.
For the whole year. And just no matter what event is coming up or season or whatever,
people can rely on that list.
There's always something that they have, like, kind of tucked in their pocket. Like, okay, I can get this for...
It's also a more sustainable way to receive gifts too, because if you get something that you really don't want or that you don't enjoy, you end up either giving it to a thrift store or throwing it away. Yeah. And And
or
so
it just
it's
doesn't
like,
get used and it just like
it
collects
sits in your
dust.
house, and then you're borderline hoarding all these gifts.
Yeah.
And
No, that's a really good point.
I've been guilty of that.
Yeah.
Like keeping clothes that people gave me just because I love them and I don't want to offend them, or keeping like books that, you know what I mean? Like just say what you want, and then you'll always enjoy and be grateful, and it'll be put to good use, you know? Okay, so one of the gifts on my wish list was these earplugs that I've been seeing for a long time. Initially, I saw them on TikTok, and then I kind of forgot about them, and then they showed up on my feed again just around the time that we were making our wish list for each other. And I was like talking to Ryan about them and kind of explaining some struggles that I have, and he knows, because he knows me well, that I get overstimulated really easily with a lot of noise, and it can get really overwhelming, and kind of I'm prone to panic attacks, so it can kind of like set off or trigger some of that. And a lot of it happens either in big crowds or when I'm teaching and I have like more than 2 kids that I'm teaching and they're all loud, and it's not that they're being disruptive, they're just kids, like they're just
being kids.
They're just talking, and it's like too much somehow. And also like being around kids or friends that have more than one child, and they're all talking, and it's like, and then I'm like, I can't focus on the conversation because I'm like getting a little stressed. So anyway, I saw these earplugs, and they're marketed to people that have sensory issues. Also, they're marketed to parents and people that have trouble sleeping, or airplanes, just any type of situation where you might need an earplug. Now, what makes these different and special is that you can get them a certain decimal that you want to mute. So the ones that I had put, it's like the highest decimal that you can mute. It's like,
you mean decibel?
Decibel, sorry. Decimal? Like decimal? I hate myself. Oh. Anyway, forgive me. Decibel. And that's what I kept saying, decimal, and I'm like, that's not right.
You like knew.
But then I was like, I don't know, I'm just gonna commit to it. You know, like I'm just gonna keep saying
confidence.
Anyway,
the false confidence, the false security.
Yeah. Anyway, the decibel. So it will mute like I think the lowest is like 18.6 decibels, and then the highest decibels that it can mute is 27 or 28 decibels. So I got that one, and it also is like stylish and like cute. It kind of looks like an earring inside of
like
your ear.
Sleek, and
yeah, they're really nice. And so I tried them when I went to Vegas, because I knew this was going to be the best time to see, okay, because big crowds, lots of people. And so when we went into the Bellagio hotel, I immediately started getting anxiety, because ain't nobody think there's COVID around here. There's so many people. It was insane. Everybody's wearing a mask, of course, but it's literally we're elbow to elbow with people.
It's just muffled noise.
So many people, like so many. And so I started to feel a little bit anxious, and so I was like, Ryan, we need to stop. And then I dug in my purse and have my little carrying case in there, and I put them in, and immediate relief. It was like I could still hear, but it was so low, like the overwhelming part of noise was gone.
Where it's like ear piercing a little bit.
And I was still able to like talk to Ryan and like focus on his voice and not worry about like not being able to hear him. That's why they market it to parents, because, and if you're a parent, I would recommend getting the lowest one so that you can hear a baby crying from another room or whatever. But they market it because the technology that they use to make these earplugs, it doesn't make it so it's completely mute. It's so that you can still focus on the things in front of you and have conversations with people, and nobody will know that you can't hear all the background noise. It mutes everything behind it. And so anyway, it's really affordable. I think the lowest price for those are like $20 for like for like the cheapest ones. And then they have like cute ones that are like gold or silver or rose gold if you want to match your jewelry when you wear it. But anyway, I love them. They're such a good thing to have on me and have in my purse. They even make like necklaces that you can like have them if you like constantly need them, because the way that they're designed to look like jewelry. You can kind of hook them on a chain, and they're really like discreet, so nobody would know that you have, you know, your earphones on you. Anyway, so that is my random recommendation. So we've made it to the end of our first episode. Ooh. We're going to break, and when we come back from our break, we're going to be hearing audio. It's going to be a little change of quality. Yeah. And it's going to be us talking to one of our friends, one of our listeners, who also is a close friend. And we're having a girls' night tomorrow night. And at that girls' night, we're going to record a few of our friends giving us their listener recommendations. Mm-hmm. So essentially, we're going to be doing a new segment at the end of each episode where a listener gives a recommendation. Could be anything. A favorite book, a favorite recipe.
Yeah. Just whatever they've been loving a lot
something that
recently.
They've been loving.
Yeah.
So when we come back, we're going to be cutting to that clip, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye. Marcella, guess what?
What?
Last night, I made our dinner entirely out of incredible food that could have been thrown out as waste and headed to the landfill.
No way. How?
Imperfect Foods.
Imperfect Foods is a weekly grocery delivery service on a mission to build a better, less wasteful food system. They offer a full lineup of sustainable, affordable groceries that make the weekly chore of grocery shopping an effortless and delightful experience.
Imperfect Foods partners with food suppliers, farmers, and small businesses to ensure that delicious food goes into our pantries and instead of the landfill.
I feel like you started that sentence really weird.
I did.
Anyway, you guys have got to try it. Get $20 off your first Imperfect Foods delivery by using our link at youngandwifedup.com.
Get it.
Okay, I'm here with my friend Carly, and she's gonna give us 2 different hacks. One of them is a beauty one, and then the other one is a cooking one. So, which one do you want to start with?
We can do beauty first.
Okay, we're gonna start with her beauty hack first.
For like the last 3 years, I've used the brand Shea Moisture, the African black soap. It's the one in the bottle, not the soap bar, because that one's actually quite a bit more drying. But I use this one product as my face wash, as like a shaving gel cream. It's like it lathers a lot. And then I also use it as like a body wash too. And it's just a holy grail product, and it makes it very easy for traveling, which I used to do a lot since my dad was a flight attendant. You just need like one bottle, solves a lot of needs. So that's my beauty hack.
Okay, cool. And then what about your cooking hack?
I think this one kind of makes it really easy. You don't have to think too much. I just kind of like try and make a Chipotle Bowl essentially, and almost everything except for the rice is in one pan. So it's just like a Mexican bowl, and I do either chicken, but usually ground beef in a pan, and then I add like diced tomatoes, frozen corn or canned corn, and beans. And then I make rice in the Instant Pot, and then you can have, you know, whatever toppings you want, salsa, sour cream, dairy-free stuff. And it's really filling. My husband says he can eat it nearly every day of the week. I need a little more variety in my diet. So we probably have it like 2 or 3 times a week, but it's a good meal to have on hand.
That sounds really good. And also, it sounds like something that would be really easy to meal prep.
Yeah.
Like beginning of the week?
Yeah. Well, my husband used to commute and have like really crazy hours. So if I didn't make him lunch essentially with leftover dinners, then he was eating like a granola bar or something. So that also like just saves really well in his like lunchbox or whatever, and is a good thing to take to work too.
Cool. I'm gonna have to try that out. I haven't done like Mexican bowls in a really long time, but it sounds really easy to make, and like that would be really good for like meal prep stuff. Well, thanks for your recommendations, Carly.
You're welcome, guys.
All right, we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.